Hey everyone, welcome back. Today we are going to do a deep dive into DIY herb bundles.
Ooh,
Yeah,
fun.
so we've got a lot of cool sources here,
Yeah,
and I'm excited to dig into all of this stuff.
me too.
So yeah, we'll look at the history. We'll look at how to actually practically make them.
Yeah.
And I've always been kind of fascinated by this because I used to think these were just like smudge sticks.
Right.
But it turns out there's like this whole world of tradition and history and energy work that goes into these
It's for
bundles.
sure. It's like a whole universe.
Yeah.
And it's really cool to see how these practices have been passed down through
Yeah.
generations. Like you realize it's not just some new trend. This is something that humans have been doing for
Right.
centuries
Yeah.
across different cultures.
Totally. And it makes you wonder, what were people doing in ancient Egypt or Mesopotamia?
Right.
Were they using different herbs back then?
Well, yeah, that's where it gets really interesting because while the specific herbs varied, based on the region and tradition, the underlying principle of burning aromatic plants to cleanse spaces, objects, even people remained consistent.
Mm.
So, for example, in ancient Egypt, frankincense and myrrh were highly prized
Oh, wow.
for their purifying and spiritual properties
Yeah.
and often used in like rituals and ceremonies.
Wow. Frankincense and myrrh talk about like a blast from the past.
Right.
I can almost smell it now.
Yeah.
So were those like solely used for spiritual purposes or did they have practical applications too?
They were actually really versatile,
Okay.
much like the herbs that we use today.
Yeah.
So, in addition to the spiritual significance, frankincense and myrrh were believed to have medicinal benefits.
Hmm.
So, they were used for treating wounds to freshening the air.
Interesting.
It's really cool how those practices kind of blended practicality and spirituality.
Yeah, totally. So it sounds like they were really onto something back
For
then.
sure.
Now, you mentioned energy work earlier.
Yes.
And I got to admit, that's a term that always makes me a little curious. Could you unpack that a bit for us?
Of course.
Like, what does that actually mean when we're talking about herb bundles?
It's one of those things that can sound a little esoteric, but it's actually quite simple.
Okay.
It all boils down to intention.
Okay.
So think of it this way. Every thought, emotion, desire we have carries a certain energetic frequency.
Got it.
And when we create and burn an herb bundle, we're essentially infusing it with our intention.
Right.
We're directing that energy towards a specific purpose.
Okay. I'm starting to see the connection here.
Yeah.
So it's not just about like the physical act of burning the herbs. It's about the mental and emotional energy
Exactly.
that we bring to it. Is
Exactly.
that kind of like when people meditate while they garden to give
Yeah.
their plants good vibes?
Yes, you got it.
Okay.
It's all about that mindful connection and intention.
Mm-hmm.
And what's really cool is different herbs have different energetic properties that we can tap into as well.
Oh, interesting.
So it's like they each have their own personality and purpose, almost like adding different spices to a recipe
I like that.
create a unique flavor.
Yeah. Okay, so let's talk about those herbal spices.
Yeah.
I'm looking at this list of herbs that are commonly used in bundles.
Yeah.
And honestly, it's a little overwhelming.
Oh, I bet.
Where do we even begin with all these options?
Well, let's start with the classic sage.
Okay.
It's probably one of the most well-known herbs for purification and cleansing,
Right.
particularly white sage.
Yeah.
But it's important to remember that white sage holds deep cultural significance
Yeah.
for many indigenous peoples of North America.
Right. I've heard about that.
Mm.
It's not just some trendy ingredient. It's a sacred plant with a really long history.
Exactly.
So what's the responsible way to approach using white sage if you're not part of those traditions?
That's a great question, and it's all about being respectful and informed.
Okay.
So if you choose to use white sage, make sure it's sourced sustainably
Okay.
from ethical suppliers who prioritize indigenous rights and environmental stewardship. And it's a great opportunity to explore some of the amazing alternatives
Yeah.
that might be native to your own region.
I love that perspective,
Yeah.
like expanding our herbal horizons and connecting with the land around us.
Totally.
So what are some of those local alternatives we could be looking for?
Well, rosemary is a fantastic choice.
Okay.
And it's readily available for many.
Yeah. Rosemary's easy to find.
It's often associated with protection,
Okay.
clarity, and even enhancing memory.
Wow.
Plus, it's super easy to grow,
Yeah.
even if you only have a sunny windowsill.
Right.
So you can literally snip some fresh rosemary
Okay.
right before making your bundle.
Talk about farm-to-table herb bundles.
Exactly.
I like it. Now, what about something a little bit more soothing?
Okay.
I'm thinking calming vibes, relaxation, maybe a
Yes.
little stress relief after a long day.
Lavender is your go-to for that.
Okay.
Its gentle aroma is known for promoting relaxation, peace, and even aiding in emotional healing.
Right.
You often find it incorporated into aromatherapy blends for its calming properties.
Yeah. Lavender's definitely a classic for a reason.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so we've got sage, rosemary, lavender.
Okay.
What other powerhouses should we add to our herb bundle arsenal?
Cedar is another fantastic one.
Cedar. Okay.
It brings a grounding and protective energy, almost like creating a safe and sacred space. And many believe it helps to strengthen spiritual boundaries,
Interesting.
which is something we can all use a little more of these days.
Yeah, I'm already feeling more grounded just thinking about it.
Right.
It's interesting how certain scents can have such a powerful effect
Yeah,
on our mood and energy.
totally.
What else can we add to our bundle for that extra boost of positive vibes?
If you're looking for a burst of courage and strength, thyme is your herb.
Thyme? Okay.
It's traditionally used for purification and dispelling fear.
Mm-hmm.
Imagine it as a little herbal bodyguard warding off negative energy
I like it.
and giving you that extra confidence boost.
Okay, thyme is officially going on my must-try list. Yes. It's amazing how each herb has its own unique personality and purpose.
I know, right?
It's like assembling a dream team of plant allies.
Yeah.
Each bringing their own special talents to the table.
Exactly.
Okay, so now we've got this like dream team assembled, right?
Yeah.
How do we go from a pile of fragrant plants to a beautifully crafted, ready-to-burn bundle?
Well, there's something really satisfying about the whole process. It's almost like weaving together intention and nature step by step. But before we dive into the how-tos,
Right.
I want to circle back to something we touched on earlier.
Yeah, okay.
Sustainability and ethical sourcing. It's
Yeah.
so important, especially when working with herbs that hold cultural significance,
Right.
like white sage and Palo Santo.
Yeah. You mentioned that overharvesting and cultural appropriation have become real issues.
They have.
And it makes you realize that even something as simple as like gathering herbs
Right.
can have like a big impact.
Absolutely. It's all about being mindful of where our herbs come from and the potential consequences of our choices. Right.
So if you're not part of the traditions where white sage or Palo Santo play a sacred role,
Right.
it's a wonderful opportunity to explore local alternatives.
Uh-huh.
It's more sustainable, but it also allows you to connect with the plant wisdom of your own region.
I love that connecting with the plants that grow right where you live.
Yes,
It's like creating a deeper sense of place and belonging.
exactly.
So let's say we've responsibly sourced our herbs.
Okay.
What's the first step in actually making the bundle?
Well, if you're working with fresh herbs, you'll want to start by drying them.
Okay.
This helps to concentrate their aroma and make them easier to burn.
Okay.
You can bundle them together with some natural twine or string
Yeah.
and hang them upside down in a cool, dry place with good airflow.
Okay.
It usually takes a week or two for them to dry completely.
So picture this. You walk into your friend's house and there are these beautiful bundles of herbs just hanging from the ceiling.
I love it.
Instant conversation starter.
Yes.
Okay, so now our herbs are nice and dry. What's next? Now comes the fun part, crafting the bundle.
Okay.
Think of it like creating a little herbal bouquet, layering different textures and aromas to achieve the energy you're seeking.
Right.
You'll want to start with a sturdy herb as your base,
Okay.
something like rosemary or thicker stemmed sage.
Okay, so we've got our base layer.
Yep.
What's the secret to layering the rest of the herbs? Is there a specific technique?
Yeah, you'll want to add your other herbs in layers, making sure the stems are aligned
Okay.
for easy wrapping later on.
Gotcha.
As you add each layer, you can visualize your intention infusing the bundle,
Yeah.
almost like you're weaving energy into the very fibers of the plants.
Right.
And don't be afraid to get creative with the arrangement. Let your intuition guide you.
I love that letting your intuition lead the way. It makes it feel so much more personal and meaningful.
Yes.
Okay, so we've got this beautiful layered bundle of herbs.
Okay.
How do we keep it all together?
You'll need a long piece of natural twine or string.
Yeah.
Starting at the base of the stems, wrap the twine tightly around the bundle, spiraling upwards.
Oh.
Once you reach the top,
Uh-huh.
spiral back down, crisscrossing the twine,
Oh.
to create a secure and visually appealing pattern,
Okay.
and then tie a knot at the base to secure everything in place.
I gotta love that feeling of satisfaction when you tie that final knot.
Yes.
You're like, yes, I made this.
Right.
It's beautiful and powerful.
It is.
Okay, so now we have this amazing bundle, the moment of truth. The burning.
Yes.
I have to admit, I'm a little nervous about setting things on fire in my house.
I get it. Fire demands respect.
Yeah.
The key is to create a safe and controlled environment.
Okay.
Make sure you're in a well-ventilated area and have a fireproof dish or bowl nearby to catch any falling embers.
Okay.
And never leave a burning bundle unattended. That's rule number 1.
Noted safety first.
Yes.
So walk us through the actual burning process. What's the best way to light the bundle and keep it smoldering?
So before you even strike a match, take a moment to connect with your intention.
Okay.
Why are you burning this bundle?
Uh-huh.
What energy are you calling in?
Right.
You might even speak your intention out loud, like a little affirmation to set the stage.
It's amazing how those small rituals can amplify the whole experience.
Right.
Okay, so intention is set. How do we get those herbs smoldering?
Hold the tip of the bundle over a flame, allowing it to catch fire briefly.
Okay.
Then gently blow it out, encouraging the herbs to smolder and release their fragrant smoke.
Okay.
You can gently waft the smoke with your hand or a feather, focusing on areas where you feel energy might be stagnant, like corners or doorways.
Okay, I'm picturing myself walking around my apartment wafting this smoke, feeling all cleansed and empowered.
Yes.
But what happens when I'm done with the ritual?
Okay.
How do I safely extinguish the bundle?
If you plan to reuse your bundle, avoid using water as it can make the herbs moldy.
Okay.
Instead, gently press the smoldering tip into a bowl of sand or a fireproof dish until it's completely extinguished.
Got it.
Yeah.
Okay, so we've covered the basics of creating and burning our bundles.
Yeah.
But I'm curious, are there ways to enhance this experience?
For sure.
Can we add other elements or personalize our bundles even further?
Absolutely.
Okay, so we've covered a lot. We talked about the history of herb bundles.
Yeah.
We've talked about how to make them and burn them safely.
Right.
But I feel like we've only scratched the surface of what's possible with these things.
Totally.
So, what are some ways that we can really, personalize this practice and make it our own?
It's like we've built this amazing foundation.
Right.
And now it's time to get creative and add those finishing touches that make it unique.
Yeah.
So you remember how we talked about the energetic properties of different herbs?
Yeah.
You can use that knowledge to create bundles that are tailored to specific intentions.
Okay.
Or even specific rooms in your home.
Okay. I'm intrigued. Give me some examples.
Let's say you want to create a bundle for your bedroom to promote restful sleep and sweet dreams. You could combine calming herbs like lavender chamomile
Yeah.
with a touch of rose for love and peace.
Oh, that sounds nice.
Right. Or if you're feeling creatively blocked,
Uh-huh.
imagine a bundle for your workspace with rosemary for focus and clarity,
Yeah.
peppermint for energy, maybe even a sprig of cinnamon for inspiration.
I love how you can just tailor these bundles to your specific needs.
Yes.
It's like having a personalized aromatherapy toolkit right at your fingertips.
Exactly.
But are we just talking about the herbs themselves? Or are there other elements that we can incorporate to amplify the experience?
Absolutely. Think of your bundle as the centerpiece of a mini ritual.
Okay.
You can create a whole sensory experience by adding things like crystals,
Okay.
essential oils, or even sound.
Oh, wow.
So, for example, you might place a piece of amethyst, known for its calming energy,
Right.
next to your bundle while it burns.
Yeah.
Or diffuse some calming essential oils like lavender or sandalwood to create a relaxing atmosphere.
I'm picturing this very serene scene, soft lighting, calming aromas, maybe some gentle music playing in the background,
I love it.
and the smoke from the bundle swirling around.
Yes.
Talk about a total mood shift.
Right.
What about sound? How can we incorporate that?
Sound is so powerful.
Yeah.
Some people like to ring a bell or chime
Okay.
before and after burning a bundle
Right.
to signify the beginning and end of the ritual.
Interesting.
You could even play a recording of nature sounds,
Oh, yeah.
like ocean waves or a crackling fireplace to deepen the sense of relaxation and connection.
Those are such great suggestions.
Thank you.
To make me realize that this isn't just about cleansing a space, it's about creating this whole experience.
Right.
Like a moment of mindfulness and intention.
Exactly.
Okay, so what's one final thought you'd like to leave our listeners with to inspire their own herb bundle creations?
I would say tap into your intuition and have fun with it.
Okay.
Don't be afraid to experiment with different combinations of herbs, scents, and rituals to find what resonates with you personally.
Right.
There's no right or wrong way to do this. It's all about creating a practice that feels authentic and empowering.
I love that, trusting your intuition and making it your own.
Exactly.
And you know what? This whole conversation has sparked something in me.
Oh, good.
I'm feeling inspired to create my own personalized bundle.
Yes.
Maybe one for focus and creativity.
Awesome.
I think I'll add a little piece of citrine in there for that extra boost of sunny energy.
Perfect.
That's awesome. It's amazing how connecting with nature in this way can spark so much creativity and intention.
I agree. It's very powerful.
Well said.
Yeah.
All right, so to all of our listeners out there, we encourage you to dive and experiment and create herb bundles that speak to your heart and soul.
Yes.
Share your creations and experiences with us. We'd love to see what you come up with.
Please do.
Until next time, keep exploring, keep learning, and keep diving deep.